Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, which is Megillah Daf Chavtes. We're holding the last word, I should say the last two words, of Chav Ches Amud Beis, Tanu Rabbanon. Mevatlan Talmud Torah Leitzos Hames, Ulachnosas Kala. One is meant to be Mevatel Torah, stop learning in order to participate in a Levaya, to participate in a wedding. When we speak about Achnosas Kala, of course it means Achnosas Chasen as well, the wedding celebration of the Chasen Bekala. And the Chiddush here is, see, although we're Mevatel Torah to do any mitzvah, isn't that the whole point of learning? At least one of the reasons we learn is to know what to do when the occasion arises. So, what is the Chiddush? That we're going to stop learning to involve ourselves in a mitzvah? Explain to Mefarshim, the Chiddush here is, you have people celebrating, you have people involved in the Levaya. Nevertheless, if your participation adds to it, then you're meant to be Mevatel Talmud Torah to participate in these events. In fact, Amru Alav, Al Rabbi Yehuda Bar Bilai. Rabbi Yehuda was a great Tana, always immersed in learning. Shehayim Mevatel Talmud Torah. He as well would stop learning, La'atzas Hames, to participate in a funeral, or Lachnosas Kala, or in a wedding. Interesting, the Marsha, elsewhere again, Brachas, where the Gemara says that one who's Meshtatif and Simchas Chosim V'Kala is Zeichet to Torah, and the Marsha says, don't think you're losing, giving up time, giving up your shir, giving up your seder to dance at a wedding. You're losing, you're sacrificing. It's for a good cause, but you're sacrificing nonetheless. Says the Gemara, no, quite the contrary. You're not giving up anything. You're going to be Zeichet to more Torah. And he explains that, look, when you're showing that you're taking part in the simcha of the Chasen V'Kala, what you're doing is you're helping them establish their life. You're giving them that chizuk they need. Look how many people care for us. Look how many people are celebrating and are happy with us on our occasion. So you're establishing a healthy, emotionally healthy and confident Jewish home, which will be a headquarters for Torah and mitzvahs down the line. L'dora doris. You're adding to Torah, you're adding to mitzvahs by giving him that emotional boost, by participating, by showing up at that person's simcha. So it actually adds to Torah, and therefore the person who does that is zeicha. That his Torah should be enhanced as well. You know, Moshe Feinstein was known to go and attend many weddings as per request. You would ask him, he would come. There was a story that he suddenly showed up at a wedding, and the Rosh Hashiva, who was meant to be the Messiah of Kedushin, didn't expect Rav Moshe Feinstein, the Pesach Adar, to be at the wedding, and he's going to be Messiah of Kedushin. He was kind of taken aback, and he approached Rav Moshe. He says, I'm sorry, I didn't even know you were going to be. I would never have accepted this honor of being Messiah of Kedushin. What brings you here? So Rav Moshe says, look, I'm not sure why I'm here, but I'll tell you, this morning I was in the elevator in my building on the east side. I was on the way down the elevator, and I met an older man, a neighbor. Shalom Aleichem, good morning. He says to me, you know, my granddaughter is getting married tonight. It would mean a great deal to me if Rabbi Feinstein attends. Okay, so I came. That's why I'm here. There was another story. There was a great snowstorm in New York, and everything was totally shut down. And Rabbi Moshe Feinstein had been invited to a wedding that night in Midtown Manhattan, in a hotel. They used to do it in the hotels in Manhattan those days. And he turned to his son Reuben and he says, look, he says, Dafka tonight, we have to try to get to that wedding. I don't expect many people to come. No cars, nothing. Everything is a standstill. And the mitzvah now, the opportunity is even greater than usual. Let's make an effort to go. So Rav Moshe and his son Reuben and both their wives, the Rebbitzins, headed out by foot. And they walked all the way to the train station, took a subway over to the wedding, and indeed, as Rav Moshe had predicted, a small crowd showed up. And he turned to his son Reuben and he says, good thing we came. I'm happy we made the effort. Look how much we mean to them. Look how much we're mishtatif. And he was happy that he was able to do such a great mitzvah. B'misamech chasen v'kala. Continues the Gemara. When do we say that the fellow should stop learning to be mishtatif in these events? B'she'ein sham kol tzarchai when there aren't enough people involved in the funeral. But if there are enough people there, there's no reason to stop learning. Now, the Gemara soon will give us numbers. What's considered enough attendees? The Gemara does not speak about a wedding. And the Mepharshim explain, because by a wedding you follow a simple formula. If you're needed, if you're appreciated, if you're a friend or relative, then your presence adds to the simcha. Right? So that's a very simple formula to follow. It could be many, many people there, but each person means a lot. If he's a friend or relative, he means a lot. He adds to the simcha, and then Bidul Torah is justified. When it comes to a funeral, the Gemara will give us exact numbers. What's considered sufficient attendees? Omar of Shmuel bar in Yom Shmei Rav. Treser alfe gavri. Wow, 12,000 people. V'shita alfe shipuri, plus 6,000 blowing the shofar to attract attention, to be ma'irer, the avel, the avelus, whatever reason they had these shofars. In any case, you have to have so many people there to be considered kedei tzarka, and then you're pater. Otherwise, take part in the funeral. V'amilo some had a gersa treser alfe gavri, 12,000 men. Uminayu shita alfe shipuri, and 6,000 shofar blowers from those 12,000. So it's a total of 12,000. Ula Amar kigoyin the chaitzi gavri. You need enough people who can stretch, a row of people that can stretch me'ibula from the gateway of the city ad sichra until the funeral, which was outside the city. If you have so many people there, then you're not needed. Otherwise, your presence is required. Rav Sheshes Amar, he works with a different formula. Kinesi nasa. Just as when the Torah was given, kach netilasa, that's how it should be taken away. When a person passes away, his learning stops. There's a bittul Torah. The Torah is sort of being taken back to Shemaim. Everybody has a chelik in Torah, and his chelik in Torah goes back up to Shemaim. And therefore we compare Misa to Matan Torah. Manesi nasa b'shishim ribi, just as the Nesinas HaTorah took place during an event which was witnessed by 600,000 people. Af netilosa b'samach ribui. Likewise, when someone passes away, it should be attended. The event should be attended by 600,000 people. So it's pretty much not so practical to have this type of number. In which case, everybody's required to be there. This only applies to a fellow who learned Chumash, who learned Mishnayos, learned Gemara. But if he's a person that actually taught others, his chus is greater, and he requires even more kavod and honor. Less shira, there's no shira, there's no maximum. As many people as are there, you can just add more and more, and therefore you're required to attend. Now the Paiskim, the Mefarshim, all wonder, how come we don't do this today? We don't go to every local wedding, every local funeral. So when it comes to the wedding, the answer is very pashut. Your presence doesn't contribute anything to the wedding of a stranger. So you're not really being mesameh chasen v'kala, unless you know the parties involved. When it comes to a levaya, the minhag is that unless you actually see, you're witnessing the funeral procession, then this halacha doesn't apply. Tanya Rab Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Boyrei, come have a look. Kama chaviven Yisrael of Nekadosh Baruch Hu. Look how dear Yisrael are to Hashem. Shebechol mokem shegalo. Wherever they went into Golus, Shechina Iman, Hashem's Shechina, followed them, accompanied them into Golus. For instance, Golul Mitzrayim Shechina Iman. They went to Mitzrayim, Shechina went along. Shnamar Hanigle Nigleisi lebeis avicha b'yesim Mitzrayim. I've revealed myself to your parents in Mitzrayim itself. I was there with him. Golul Bavel, there as well. Shechina Iman. Shnamar Lamanchem Shilachti Bavel. I sent the Shechina on account of you to Bavel with you. And likewise, when Klal Yisrael will be taken out of Golus, Shechina Iman, Shechina will come with them. So it's a very real thing. The Shechina is with us in Golus, and needs to be redeemed, so to speak, together with us. Shenamar, where do we find that the Shechina will come out of Golus with us? V'shav Hashem elekecha shvuscha. Hashem will bring you back. V'heshiv le'nemar. It should say V'hesha, Hashem will bring you back. What then does it say? Ela v'shav, he will return. Malamish HaKadosh Baruch Hu shavim mohen ben galuyos. It's clear that Hashem himself will return together with us from Galus. Asks the Gemara, Shchina beBavel hecha. Where exactly can you find the Shchina in Bavel? Is there any specific place that the Shechina resides? Amar Abaye, Bebei Knishta de Hutzal. This is a shul in the town of Hutzal. Ubei Knishta de Shaf v'Yaseh ben Ada. Another Beis HaKnesses, which was called Shaf. It traveled, v'Yaseh, and was established ben Harda in the town of Nada. Let's take a look at Rashi, 3 lines from the top. The Shaf v'Yaseh, Ubana Yechanya v'Siyate. It was built by Yechanya. Yechanya was the one who went into Galus 11 years before the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. We're talking about the first Beis HaMikdash. And he built this shul me'avonim v'afar she'viyu mehen galusan, using stones, using afar, earth that he brought with them from Eretz Yisrael. L'kayim ha'shenema, in fulfillment of the pasuk, ki rotzu avadecho savaneho v'safari yuchaynenu. Your servants will have affection to your stones, your afar will be dear to them. So they took along building material from Eretz Yisrael and used it to build their shul called Shaf v'Yaseh ben Harda. V'loi teima, says the Gemara, v'loi teima hacha v'hacha. Don't think that Shechina is to be found in both places at once, which would appear like there are two powers, chas v'shalom. No. El zimnan hacha v'zimnan hacha. At times the Shechina is in this shul, at times in the other. Omar Abaye, tasily, I deserve a schar, d'chi marchikna parsa, because even if I'm a parsa, away from the shul, aylina umatlina hasam, I burden myself, I trouble myself to go all the way to the shul, a special makom of Shechina, makom of Kedusha, to daven there. I saw in a sefer that there's a Kabbalah b'shem Rav Abdallah, the Chacham of a known tzaddik in Iraq, and he said it's a Kabbalah from his Rebbeim all the way back, that the shul described in the Gemara as Beknishta de Shaf v'Yaseh ben Harda is the Beis HaKnesses HaGadol of Baghdad, the big great shul of Baghdad. That was this shul, Shaf v'Yaseh ben Harda. Interesting. Avod Shmuel and also Valevi, they were both in this shul. Havayasvi, they were sitting Beknishta, the Shaf v'Yaseh ben Harda, they were in this Beis HaKnesses. Suddenly, the Shechina came, the Shechina arrived. Shamu kol riksha, they hear a rustling sound, they hear some sort of reverberation, and they figured it must be the Shechina's arrival. Kamu v'nafku. They quickly left. They got up and left. As opposed to Rav Sheshes, Havayasif, Bivei Knishta de Shaf v'Yaseh ben Harda. There's another story of Rav Sheshes, who was sitting in this Beis HaKnesses, Asher Shechina. Shechina arrived in Nafik, and he didn't leave the shul. Also, Malachi Ashoris of Kamavasule. Malachim came and started scaring him, trying to get him out. Amar Lafanav. So he turned to Hashem Ribono Shel Olam. Olav v'she'ein olav. You have two people. One who is olav, downtrodden. V'she'ein olav. You have somebody who's more confident and successful. Who makes way for whom? Mi nitcha pnei mi. Who's meant to make way for the other person? So this is kavayacha, like a mashal to Hashem. Hashem, you're the olav. Hashem, you're forgiving and sorry, just the opposite. I'm the olav. I'm the downtrodden person. I'm in gullus here. I'm just a person. I'm basar v'dam. Hashem, you're all powerful. Hashem, you're the eni olav. And you, kaviyachal, please allow me to stay here. Don't take offense that I'm sitting in the shul interfering with the Shechina. Amar lahu, so Hashem turned to the Malachim and he said, Shavku, leave him alone. Let him remain. The pasuk says, V'ehi lahem lemigdash ma'at. I will be for them like a small miniature migdash. What is that referring to? Amar b'yitzchok, elu batnei knesiyos ubatei medrash shebevavel. It's referring to the batei knesiyos and the batei medrash in Bavel that are considered migdash ma'at. The Gemara says, "Mishachar beis hamikdash ein lo lakadosh baruch hu, elo dalad amish Allah b'lvad." And the Ran explains in Brachas, Ran explains that the Shechina, which was present in the beis hamikdash, has now been transferred to the shuls, to the Batei Midrashes where they learn Torah. Migdash ma'at. For Rabbi Yehuda Amar, it's referring to a very specific beis hamedrash which was in Bavel. where they learned and taught Torah to the masses. Ze Beis Rabbeinu shebeBavel. It's the Beis HaMedrash of Rabbeinu Rav, which was in Bavel, where they taught Torah, and disseminated Torah, and that's the true Migdash Ma'at that the pasuk is referring to. Dorish Rav. What does the pasuk mean when it says Hashem ma'oin ata hayisalanu? Hashem, you were like a shelter for us. Elu batin knesiyos batin midrashos. It's referring to the shuls with all the tumult, everything that's going on in the world. You hide in the shul, you protect yourself, enjoy the tranquil, insular environment, which serves as a shelter. Hashem ma'oin ata hayisalanu. Initially, I used to learn at home, and daven in the shul. Once I analyzed the pasuk, David HaMelech says, "Hashem ahavti be'esecha." I love the ma'in be'esecha, your home, your shul. So I changed my schedule. Havi garisna b'be'knishta. I began to learn even in the shul as well, to have full benefit from this spiritual cocoon, this Beis HaKnesses, which is Hashem's moin, Hashem's domain. Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Kessler Omer, Asidim Batei Knesiyos, Batei Midrash shebeBavel. Even the shuls and the Batei Midrash of Bavel will be uprooted and transferred to Eretz Yisrael. Sheyikavu be'Eretz Yisrael. Shenevar. How do we know this? Ki katava b'harim, ki Carmel b'Yam Yaveh. The pasuk is describing the mountains Tavar, the mountain Carmel, which came over to the Midbar at the time of Matan Torah. They were present and they experienced Matan Torah. And the Medrash actually says, the Medrash in Tehillim says, that as a schar, as a reward, they're going to be incorporated in the future Beis HaMikdash. They're going to be like the foundations beneath the Beis HaMikdash. So we learn from here. We can apply a kal v'chomer. Uma Tavar v'Karmel. Since these two mountains, Shalei bo el lifisha, Luma Torah, they came just a quick visit to Har Sinai to learn Torah. Nikboim be'Eretz Yisrael, and as a result of that, they were zeicha to be established in Eretz Yisrael, to be established by the Beis HaMikdash for all time. Batei Knesiyos, Batei Midrashos, Shekoyin u'marbitzim mehen Torah. Certainly the Batei Knesiyos and Batei Midrashos, where they learn and they teach Torah all the time. Allah has come v'kama, certainly, of course, they're going to be transferred to Eretz Yisrael, be part of that spiritual environment in the future Eretz Yisrael. Actually, in the wording of the Gemara, it's mashma that Carmel and Tavar perhaps were not really in Eretz Yisrael to begin with. And because they came to learn Torah, they were nikba in Eretz Yisrael. So that's one way to learn. Or as the Medrash learns, even a step further, they're going to be zeicha, to be established, to be incorporated in the binyan Beis HaMikdash la'asad lav. Some Sefer has an interesting shaila. He has a tshuva where he discusses this Gemara with someone. He says, it's not clear in the Gemara whether the building with a floor will come along or the floor remains behind. Perhaps he's speaking about just a stone, an earth floor, which is part of the karka olam. But if it's an actual wooden floor which was built specifically for the shul, perhaps there's no shaila that everything comes along, flies along to Eretz Yisrael. La'asad lavi. Dorash bar kapara. Bar kapara Torah as follows. Ma'idach, how do we understand the pasuk which says, Lama teratztun harim gavnun? This was a reference to the mountains that came dancing along to compete with Har Sinai. They were vying for the position to have Matan Torah take place on them. Yotzes a baskol v'am. A baskol rings out and says like this: V'amalehem, Lama teratzu dinim Sinai. Why are you challenging? Why are you making a din with Sinai, claiming Matan Torah rights? You're big and tall and impressive. Kulchem bali muminatem. You're all blemished. Eitzel Sinai compared to Sinai. Why? Because if you're haughty, if you're balgai, that's the biggest mum that can be. The Pasuk here describes them as gavnunim, which is lashon of mum. Uksiv hasam oigibin oidak. A kohen who has a mum, a gibin is a hunchback. So we see this is a lashon of a mum. Amar Vashi Shmamina, we learn from here, Haima de Yor, Baal Mumu, a person who is haughty, and a Baal Gaiva is the biggest mum. A person just puts his head to it. He realizes that there's no reason to be a Baal Gaiva. Any abilities, any talents that he has, any wealth, anything, any success, is all V'siyata D'Shmaya. It's Hashem's gift to him, the opportunity provided by Hashem for him to make good use of. So there's no point in being haughty and claiming credit. If he's a Baal Gaiva, say to him first, as though he has no brain. A person without a brain is certainly a Baal Mum. So these mountains who are being haughty due to their size and height, so they're Baal Mumim compared to our Sinai, which had nothing to brag about. So getting back to the halacha of the Mishnah, that a shul has kedusha, and the shul is meant to be used for its intended purpose, not abused or misused in any way. Such as ein oisin oisi kapandraya. You don't make a shul into a kapandraya. What is that? My kapandraya. Amar Rava, the word kapandraya is kishma, the way it sounds. My kishma, what does that mean? It's really like a joint word. Kemada Amar, as a person would say. So the word kapandraya is sort of a joint word as follows. Ademakifna adari. Instead of circumventing, going around the row of houses, Eil Baha, let me just go through this shortcut. So kapandraya is Ademakifna adari Eil Baha. So you may not use a shul as a shortcut. Amar Ravo, but if there was a pathway there, and then the shul is built on that, the tzibur doesn't lose its rights to pass through the area, and therefore you may pass through the shul even after it's built. Amar Nachmar Yitzchak, likewise, hanichnas amanas shleilas is kapandraya. Suppose he enters the Beis HaKnesses without the intent of making it a shortcut. Doesn't plan on going through the other side. He happens to be there for whatever reason. Mutalas is a kapandraya. Then if he wishes, he can turn it into a shortcut. He's allowed to go through the other side, even though it shortens his trip. That wasn't his intention initially. If one enters the Beis HaKnesses to daven, there's a girsa which says mitzvah. Mitzvah, so it's actually praiseworthy. He meant to go all the way through and leave the other side, to walk through the shul in its entirety, to experience the entire shul. It shows that you be mechabed the shul. Shenemar, as we find in the pasuk by the Beis Hamikdash. So when they visited the Beis Hamikdash, if you came in from Tzafon to bow, they would go out through the opposite way. So you would enter one side, exit throughout the other. So you see that walking through is actually an expression of kavod and honor to the makom. Mishnah says, if you see some weeds growing in the unused shul, decommissioned shul, leave it alone. You want to generate discomfort, agmas nefesh, so that the community will daven, will make an effort to rebuild the shul. Vatanya, we learn to the Brisa, you don't remove those grass to feed your animal. But you can remove it and just leave it in its place. Now, Mishnah Tzmashma, you're not meant to cut them off at all. When Mishnah says, don't be tailish, it meant, don't be tailish to feed your animal, but you can remove it and leave it in its place so that it's visible to all. Tanarabanan. Beis HaKvaros ein noyhagen ben kalas reish. Beis HaKvaros, which is a makom menucha of the mesim, is a makom that you're meant to be mechabed the mesim. You're not meant to misuse the makom and consider it your own personal property, and go ahead and do your personal tzrachim in that place. You can't do kalas reish. Frivolity is not appropriate. Likewise, in Marin ben behema, you don't graze your animals there. You don't run a stream through the Beis HaKvaros property. You don't remove the grass. If you did, serve from him kaiman, you meant to burn it in its place, in the Beis HaKvaros, on account of the kavod of the mason. Ahai, what does this mean here? May kavod mason? What is that a reason for? What is it coming to explain? It's coming to explain the last halacha of imliket sefer mimkaimen because of kavod mesim. What's the connection? Kiven shesefer mimkaimen my kavod mesim ika. Burning the grass in the Beis HaKvaros adds kavod to the mesim. In what way? Ella aresha. No, it's going back to the first part of the brayso. Don't do your personal things in the Beis HaKvaros because you meant to have kavod for the mesim. Says the Mishnah, Rosh Chodesh Adar Shechol Yes B'Shabbos. In the coming dapim, we're going to be learning about Kriyas HaTorah, which is meant to reflect the theme of the day, of the Yom Tov. We learned from a pasuk, Vayidaber Moshe es meyad Hashem al bnei Yisrael. We're meant to read about the Yom Tov, about the mitzvahs hayom on the actual day itself. The Chazal will masaken Arba Parshios, the 4 Parshios which precedes and include Rosh Chodesh Nisan. We were meant to read very specific sections which pertain to Inyana Duyem as well. Parsha Shkolim, Parsha Zachar, etc. That's going to be the theme of this mission. Rosh Chodesh Adar Shechol Yes B'Shabbos. What happens when Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out on Shabbos itself? With Parsha Shkolim, we read Parsha Shkolim on that day itself. But let's say Chol Yes B'Secha Shabbos. Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out in the middle of the week, on a Tuesday. So which Shabbos is called Parsha Shkolim? The previous Shabbos. Magdim l'Shavar. We advance Parsha Shkolim to the past week, before Rosh Chodesh. Umafsikin l'Shabbos Acheres. And we take a break. The Shabbos after Rosh Chodesh is an ordinary Shabbos, and only the next Shabbos is called Parsha Zachar. We want it to be right next to Purim. Bashnia Zachar. The second special Parsha is Parsha Zachar. Zachar as Asher Asal HaMolek, which refers to Mechias HaMolek, which is a forerunner to the Purim celebration, where we celebrate the Maas of Mechias HaMolek. Bashlish is Paraduma. Third week is Pashas Para. B'Revi is HaChodesh Zelachem. On the 4th Shabbos, we read HaChodesh Zelachem, describing the Parsha, the halachas of Karban Pesach. So it's 4 weeks running. B'Chamisha is the 5th Shabbos. Chayzron the Kesidron. We go back to normal, to the regular Kriyas HaTorah system. L'kol mafsikim. For any occasion, any Yom Tov, we're going to cancel the set, established, designated Kriyas HaTorah and move over to Inyana D'Yoma, whether it's Pesach, Shavuos, or Sukkot, or B'Rosh Chodashim, B'Chanukah, B'Purim, B'Taniyos, Ma'amodos, B'Yom Kippurim. All these occasions warrant their own specific type of Kriyas HaTorah which reflects the theme of that day. So we cancel the regular Kriyas HaTorah and we substitute it with these specific kriyos, and then we go back to the regular later. Let's go over to Rashi, right in the middle of the Amid. Masnis. Current b'Parsha Shkol. What's the point of Parsha Shkol? L'hoidia, to inform the Olam, she'aviu sheklein ba'adar, they should bring their Shkolim, kadei she'akrivu be'echad b'Nisan, to mechadasha, kadamar b'gemara, which will be just in time for Rosh Chodesh Nisan, where they can use the new money to purchase the new karbanos. Now, for Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out midweek, Parsha Shkolim is the preceding week, and the next week is a break. No special Shabbos. Umafsikin l'Shabbos haba miloyma Parsha Shniya. Kadei shetikori Parsha Zachar b'Shabbos hasmuch l'Purim. We want Parsha Zachar right next to Purim. L'smech mechias hamoleg l'mechias Aman. Then comes Paraduma. Lahazar es Yisrael l'tar sheyasu b'schem l'tara. So that everybody takes care to become tar in advance of Karban Pesach. Nowadays we read it, says the Chavetz Chaim, to evoke feelings and yearnings and to bring about the tefillah in a person's heart that we should be zeicha, so that we realize this opportunity b'karev. That's the 3rd week. But Ravi is HaChodesh Zelachem Shesham Parshas HaPesach. Rashi brings a Yerushalmi, B'Shas Yerushalmi Garsinan, Amar Abchama. Really, it's a bit out of order. Dinu sheyikdem HaChodesh. The Parshas Para. Really, Parshas HaChodesh should come before Parshas Para, because that's how it took place in history. Sharei be'echad b'Nisan hukam Mishkan. Mishkan was assembled Aleph Nisan. V'sheni lo nisrav Para. Para only came the next day. Why do we do Para before discussing Chodesh Nisan? Shehi Taras Shel Yisrael, because it discusses Taras Yisrael, which is meant to come before they actually bring the Karban Pesach. So that comes first, and then we discuss the Karban Pesach. L'kol mafsikin, we cancel the regular standard Kriyas HaTorah. We go over to the special Kriya, which reflects the theme of that day, whether it's Yom Tov, whether it's Ma'amados. We discussed this a couple of days ago. That's when they gathered to daven for the Karbanos. We V'Kayrin B'Masa Bereshis, K'Tanei L'Kama Mas Nisan, as will be discussed. Says the Gemara on the bottom line, Tanan Hasan. We have a Mishnah in Maseches Shkolim, which says, Be'echad Ba'adar, Mashmin, Ala Shkolim, Ala Kalayim. Bezdin would send out an announcement on the first day of Adar. Rabbi says it's time to bring the Shkolim. Rabbi says it's time to inspect your fields. Make sure there's no Kalayim growing. That's the Mishnah. Let's try to analyze the Mishnah. Bishleim ala Kalayim. We understand why that's an appropriate time to discuss Kalayim. There's Manzrehi, that's when you start realizing the new growth. Ela ala Shkolim, what's the point of discussing Shkolim on Rosh Chodesh Adar? Amar Rav Tavi, Amar Rav Yashia, Damakra. The pasuk says Zois Oilas Chodesh B'Chotshei, and it continues L'Chotshei Hashana. And Rashi says you need so many Chadashim, Chotshei Hashana. What's the point of all these L'Shoinus of Chidush, of newness? The drasha is Amar Torah is telling you Chadesh, renew. V'Have Karba Mitruma Chadasha, bring the new Karbanis of the new year. And the new year starts Aleph Nisan, as Rashi points out. We learn it from a drasha. The new year regarding Karbanis starts Aleph Nisan. So the new Karbanis during that new year have to be funded by a new fund. Chadesh Karban Mitruma Chadasha, from the new Trumas Halishka, which is separated from the community fund of Machzah Shekel. So you need new money every year at this time. And since you need to begin using the new money for those karbanos starting Echad ben Nisan, so we give it a month. So we go ahead and we give them advance notice of 30 days. We start discussion Echad Ba'adar to get them going. We make that appeal. Bring your Machzah Shekel, so that they have plenty of time to bring the new Shkolim to the Migdash in time for the new Karbanos. So that's what we start 30 days before Echad Ba'adar, which is 30 days before Echad Ben Nisan. Says the Gemara, apparently it's not following this sheet. Why do we need a whole month? Because according to him, he holds that a preparatory period prior to a Yom Tov need only be 2 weeks. The Sanya, we get involved in discussion and asking and learning about the halachas of Pesach 30 days before. That's how much time you need to properly prepare. Rabban and Shimon Gamliel Omer, Shtei Shabbosos. You only need 2 weeks. So according to him, why do we make this announcement a full month before Rosh Chodesh Nisan? 2 weeks should be adequate. Filu Tema, Rabban and Shimon Gamliel, even according to him, it makes sense. Why? We learned in another Mishnah, sure, the announcement comes out, Aleph, Adar, but 15 days later, they start getting serious. The Shulchanos, the bankers, the money changers, set up shop in Medina, in Yerushalayim, and then at that point, they start really collecting the money, and 10 days later, they move into the Beis HaMikdash. It's like the final phase. Ubuchafhei 25 in Adar, Yoshev and Mikdash, they transfer to the Mikdash. They're no longer available out in the street. We have to go find them in the Mikdash. And Rashi points out at that point, they start taking a mashkan, a collateral. They really start getting serious. So technically speaking, we want people to start giving at 15. That's when the collection really begins. Mishum Shulchanos, because of these money changers that start at 15 of Adar, Kadminan, Vikarinan, we go ahead and we start at the announcement, and we set up the appeal 2 weeks prior to that, which is Aleph Ba'adar. So bottom line is the point of the appeal. The point is to get the new money in time for the new Karbanis, which begin Echad Ben Nisan. According to the Chachamim, we need 30 days, so we start Aleph Ba'adar. According to Rabbi Yehuda Kessler, really a 2-day period is sufficient, but we count 2 weeks prior to the Shulchanos establishing themselves throughout Yerushalayim, which is Chamisha Asar Ba'adar. My Parsha Shkol. So the Mishnah says we read Parsha Shkolim on the first Shabbos. Rosh Chodesh Adar that falls out on Shabbos, We have Parsha Shkolim. What exactly is this? We have a machlekes. Rav Amar, Saves B'nei Yisrael, V'amar Taleim, Es Korban Ilachmi. This is the pasuk in Pashas Pinchas, which we actually read on Rosh Chodesh. And that's called Parsha Shkolim. Ushmul Amar Kisisa. It's the portion in Pashas Kisisa which discusses collection of Machzah Shekel. Says the Gemara, Bishlem Elamanda Amar Kisisa. I understand Shmuel's pshat. Kisisa makes sense. Haina de Karile Pasha Shkolim. That's what we refer to as Pasha Shkolim because it describes Machzah Shekel donation. V'chsiba Shkolim. Elo Elamanda Amar Korban Ilachmi L'isha according to Rav, who says it's the parsha that we read on Rosh Chodesh that describes Karbanis Tzibur. Hacha midi Shkolim Ksivi Hasam. What do we have Shkolim in that parsha? What is it? What does that have to do with Parsha Shkolim? Yes. You know what the connection is? Because that's the purpose of the Machzah Shekel donation, to produce Karbanis. Tamamai, why do we donate Shkolim on a yearly basis? Why do we bring it Echad Ba'adar? Because Rav Tavi, as we just explained, Rav Tavi tells us, Chadesh v'havi karban mitruma chadasha. So actually, it's very timely to discuss the parsha of karbanis when you're trying to encourage the crowd to donate to those karbanis. Continues the Gemara. Now I understand Rav's approach. I understand. That connects to the Machzah Shekel Mishum Dechsivi Karbanis Asam K'Rav Tavi, because it discusses Karbanis, which is very much related to the Machzah Shekel. As just explained, the name of Rav Tavi, the new money to buy the new supply of Karbanis. Elo Lamanda Amar Keisisa, but according to Shmuel, that Pasha Shkolim involves reading Pashas Keisisa, Karbanis Miksivi. What do you have anything related to Karbanis in that parsha? Sure, we discussed donations. You know which donations? Shkolim la'adanim ksivi. We're speaking about giving coins to buy the adanim, the base of the boards of the Mishkan. That's the topic of discussion, Kisisa. Answers the Gemara, you're right. But actually, the pasuk relates to all different types of donations. K'datani Rav Yosef. Shalish Trumesein. If you take a look at the Psukim there, you'll find 3 mentionings of the word Truma. The first one is Shom Mizbeach. The Machzah Shekel meant for Karbanis on the Mizbeach, Lim Mizbeach. The second one is V'shel Adonim, meant for the Adonim collection. La Adonim was meant to procure the Adonim. And the third mentioning of Truma is V'shel Bedek Habayis. Was meant for the building fund. The Bedek Habayis, where that money goes to the building fund, as Rashi points out. In contrast to the first 2 collections, which were uniform collections, everybody would give the same amount, Machzah Shekel. The third one, the Bedek Habayis, the building fund, was personal. Whatever you can afford, whatever you'd like to give, you could give. In any case, sure, in that parsha, there is a reference to the Truma of Machzah Shekel, which was meant for the Karbanis. Now, according to Shmuel, the Parsha Shkolim involves reading Kisisa. Hainu de Shani, Rosh Chodesh. Now we clearly see that this Rosh Chodesh Adar is different, very different, Mishar Rosh Chodashim than other conventional Rosh Chodashim, because typically you read Tzaves B'nei Yisrael and Pashas Pinchas, and here you're going to deviate, you're going to cancel that Kriya. Instead, you read Pasha Shkolim, which certainly highlights the fact. It sends out that message loud and clear. It's time to donate. But according to Rav, the Pasha Shkolim involves reading the Parsha of Karbanis, which is your typical standard Kriya for Rosh Chodesh. In what way is this Rosh Chodesh different than any other Rosh Chodesh? My Shani, how's it different? Answers the Gemara, yeah, there is a slight difference. Shani, it's different in the following manner. On a typical Rosh Chodesh that falls out on Shabbos, you have 7 aliyahs. How do you allocate the aliyahs? The first 6 aliyahs read in Yana Diyem, the Parshas HaShavua, the designated weekly portion. V'chad v'dorosh Chodesh, and the 7th fellow, he reads Tzaves B'nei Yisrael, the Parsha of Rosh Chodesh. Actually, today we do it the 8th, because we're choishish to the Shita that number 7, which is the Mafter, doesn't count as part of the 7. So we do 7 plus the 8th is Rosh Chodesh. But in any case, we sort of join them together. We have 6 on the Parsha Shavua, And the last one discusses Rosh Chodesh. But now that it's Pasha Shkolim, we want to really bring out the point, announce this message, get this appeal going. So we switch it. We make it more pronounced. Kula b'd Rosh Chodesh. All 7 oilim are going to divide the Pasha of Rosh Chodesh, Tzaves B'nai Yisrael, amongst themselves, and we cancel. For the time being, we cancel reading Pasha Shavua. So it's an expanded Kriya of Rosh Chodesh. So the content is the same, but the presentation, the allocation, the distribution, and the application is different. And that makes it noteworthy. Continues the Gemara. So you mean to say that on Pasha Shkolim we do away with the Pasha Shavua, with the designated weekly portion meant for that week. That's what you mean to say, right? That only works according to the Shita that says, L'seder Parshiyos U'Chayzer. Mishnah speaks about the fact that for 4 weeks we involve ourselves in special parshiyos, Shkolim, Zachar, etc. But Chamishas, the Mishnah said, the 5th week, we go back to the regular track, regular system. What does that mean? We go back to the regular system as per Parshiyos HaShavua, which were cancelled throughout those 4 weeks. Or, we never cancel the Parsha Shavua. It's only the Mafter that we retool. Parsha Shkolim is the Mafter. Parsha Zachar is the Mafter. We don't tinker with the regular Parsha Shavua, which remains the same. You're indicating to me that on Parsha Shkolim, we no longer read the Parsha Shavua. We cancel it for that week. We take the Parsha of Parsha Shkolim, the Parsha of Tzaves B'nai Yisrael, and everybody uses that Parsha. That only works according to the Shita explains the Mishnah in this way. Let's say the Parshas U'Chayzer. That week number 5, after you finish the 4 Parshas, you go back to the regular Parsha Shavua, indicating that otherwise, throughout these 4 weeks, we ignore it, we negate it, we cancel the Parsha Shavua. But according to the other approach, the other Pshat in the Mishnah, we never cancel Parsha Shavua. No. We modify the Haftarah during these 4 weeks. And once the 4 weeks are over, we go back to the regular Seder of Haftarah, that's all. Only the Haftarah was affected. But certainly we stick to the regular Parsha Shavua, despite the fact that it's Shabbos Shkolim. If so, we're back to the Kasha. My Shani, in what way is a Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh Adar different than a regular Shabbos Rosh Chodesh? You can't say, well, we cancel Parsha Shavua and everybody reads the Tzaves B'nai Yisrael. That's not so. We keep to the Parsha Shavua. Tzaves B'nai Yisrael, which according to you is Parsha Shkolim, is applied to Mafter. And that happens on a regular Shabbos Rosh Chodesh as well. There's no difference. There's nothing to identify, nothing to set apart Parsha Shkolim from a regular Rosh Chodesh. If Parsha Shkolim involves reading Tzaves B'nai Yisrael, which is the standard Rosh Chodesh reading. And my Shani, in which way is it different? Shani, there is a deviation. Why? Because typically on Rosh Chodesh, which is Shabbos, 6 aliyahs read the Parshas Shavua, v'chad kori b'd Rosh Chodesh, and the last oila is Rosh Chodesh. But now, when it's Shabbos Shkolim, we want to highlight the fact that it's Shabbos Shkolim. We distribute the aliyahs differently. The first 3 aliyahs read the designated parsha of that week. Only 3. And the last 4, instead of just 1, the last 4 read the parsha of Rosh Chodesh. And now we know, something special, it's Parsha Shkolim. Why 4? Because this is the standard number of aliyahs on Rosh Chodesh. So once we want to enhance it, we go all the way to number 4, which is appropriate for Rosh Chodesh. We're going to have a kasha on Shitas Rav. Rosh Chodesh Adar Shecholis b'Shabbos. Okay, so Rosh Chodesh falls out on Shabbos. Keren with Parsha Shkolim. We read Parsha Shkolim. We don't know what that is yet. There are 2 versions of Parsha Shkolim, either Kisisa or Tzaves B'nai Yisrael. Umaftirin b'Yoyada HaKoyin, and the Mafter is Yoyada HaKoyin, which discusses donations to the Beis Hamikdash. It's in Melachim Beis. Okay, that's the Bryce. This works according to Shmuel. Parsha Shkolim is Kisisa, which discusses donations. That explains why we conclude with the portion of Navi involving donations. The Damali, it's similar in theme. The Chsiv Kesef Nefashes Erka, you donate to the Mikdash. Elalamad Omar is Korban Lachman. According to Rav, you're reading about Korbanis in Parsha Shkolim. Midami. What's the connection between that and Yoda Kohen? Here it's Korbanis, here it's donating money. Yes, Dami, there is a similarity. Tabi, as we said before. Why do you donate? Why do you give matzah shekel? To produce Korbanis. You need the new funds for the new Korbanis. So there is a correlation, there is a connection. It is on the same topic. Listen to this Kashim of Braisa. Cholias Parsha. Ha-smuchala. Suppose Rosh Chodesh Adar, which falls out on Shabbos, which is meant to be Shabbos Shkolim, falls out on a Parsha which is right next to the Parsha which contains Shabbos Shkolim, Parsha Shkolim. So let's say, according to Shmuel, Parsha Shkolim is Kisisa. So what happens that this year, Rosh Chodesh Adar falls out on Shabbos, and the pre-designated Parshas HaShavua for that week was meant to be the Parsha next to Kisisa, Tetzava, B'Mofanea, Tetzava, the Parsha before Kisisa, or B'Malachareo, or the Parsha after Kisisa, Vayakel. So what do you do now? Kern Oisa v'Koiflin Oisa. You're going to read Kisisa once and then again. Let's say today is meant to be Tetzava, right? It's Pasha Shkolm. So you read Kisisa as well for Mafti. Come next week, it's really Pasha Kisisa. You can read Kisisa again. So Kern Oisa v'Koiflin Oisa, you read it once and again. Now this works according to Shmuel, who says Pasha Shkolm is Kisisa. Hainedim is Shrami. But Huzimna, it makes sense that it can fall out in that time of the year. You can end up with Parsha Tetzava around Purim time, in the winter time. Makes sense. Tzavas Karbani, but according to Rav, that Parsha Shkolim is Tzavas Karbani, which is in Pinchas. How can you get around to Parshas Pinchas? Parshas Pinchas neighborhood in all the winter. It's still beginning of the year. Parshas Pinchas is towards the end of the Chamisha Chomshei Torah. And to be towards the end of the year. And yes, it is possible. To the people in Yisrael, what a different Kriyas HaTorah arrangement. Instead of doing it once every year, the Maskil, the Raisa, they would go through the entire Torah, but Tlashnin would take them 3 years to go through the Torah. In which case, Parshas Pinchas, or that neighborhood, can certainly come out wintertime, perhaps the 3rd year, it will come out wintertime. Tanik of Shmuel, now we have a final riot to Shmuel from our price. Rosh Chodesh Adar Shcholis b'Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh Adar on Shabbos, Karen Kisisa, as Shmuel tells us, Umaftirin, and the Maftir is B'Yoda Kohen discusses donating to the Beis HaMikdash. Amar B'Tzach Nafcha. There are two times a year where you can have a situation where you're going to take out 3 Sefer Torah, because there are 3 separate reasons for Kriyas HaTorah on those days. One of them is Rosh Chodesh Adar, Shecholias b'Shabbos, Moitzin Shalish Torahs. We take out 3 Sefer Torah. We don't want to keep the crowd waiting while we roll from one place to the other, so we take out 3 separate Torahs, which of course are ready to be read at the right location. They roll to the right location. We take out 1 Torah and we read the Inyan Shal Yain, the Parshas HaShavua. Ve'echad b'Shal Rosh Chodesh, second one for the Parsha Rosh Chodesh. Ve'echad b'Kisisa, the 3rd one Kisisa for Parsha Shkol. So Rosh Chodesh Adar and Shabbos has 3 reasons for Kriya. Designated portion of the week, Parsha Shavua, it's also Rosh Chodesh and Parsha Shkol. Here's another example. V'amar b'Tzak Nafcha, Rosh Chodesh Teves, Shecholis b'Shabbos. Here's another day we have 3 reasons for Kriyas HaTorah. It's Rosh Chodesh, it's Shabbos, and it's also Chanukah. Mevi'in Shalish Torahs. We take out 3 Sefer Torah, we Karen Behem, and we use them as follows. Echad b'Inyan Shal Yain, 1 for the Parsha Shavua, ve'echad b'Rosh Chodesh, and the 3rd one is ve'echad b'Chanukah. But Tzricha, now, why does Rabbi Yehuda Nafka to tell us both scenarios? Isn't it just pretty much a duplicate? If you'd only tell us the second case, in the case of Rosh Chodesh Teves on Chanukah, I would say Baha Kamar B'Yitzchak. Certainly in this case, Rabbi Yitzchak requires 3 Sefer Torah. Aval Bahach, but in the first halach, in the case where we have Rosh Chodesh Adar on Shabbos, perhaps you don't need 3 Sefer Torah. You know why? Rav Svirli, he holds like Rav, the Amar Pasha Shkolm as Korban Ilachmi. He holds that Pasha Shkolm consists of reading as Korban Ilachmi, which is really the Pasha of Rosh Chodesh. Ubishtei Torah Sage, 2 Torahs are enough. You don't need 3, 1 for Shabbos, 1 for Rosh Chodesh. Kamashmal, and that's why he specified, no, Rosh Chodesh Adar on Shabbos requires 3 Sefer Torah because I hold like Shmuel. The third one is Kisisa for Pasha Shkol. Let him just say the first case, and there's no need to discuss the second case. It's just pretty obvious. You have 3 reasons, 3 Sefer Torah. Chada, one halacha, meaning the second scenario, wasn't really expressed by Rav Yitzchak Nafcha, Mechlal Chaver to Itma, which is derived from the other one. Once he taught us the first case of Rosh Chodesh Adar on Shabbos that requires 3 Sefer Torah, we derive from there the same concept will apply to Rosh Chodesh Teves that falls out on Shabbos. Itma we learned Rosh Chodesh Teves Shechalis B'char. So Rosh Chodesh Teves, it's Chanukah. It's a weekday. Rosh Chodesh Teves on a Tuesday, which happens to be Chanukah. You have 2 reasons for Kriyas HaTorah, Rosh Chodesh and Chanukah. Which one goes first? Which one gets priority? Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Korit Losa B'Rosh Chodesh. The first 3 Olam read Rosh Chodesh. B'chad B'Chanukah, and the 4th one is Chanukah. Rav Dimi, the Min Chayfa Amar, he switched it around. Korit Losa B'Chanukah, the first 3 read the Chanukah portion, which is the Pasha of Nesiim. V'chad B'Rosh Chodesh, and the 4th one discusses Rosh Chodesh. Amar Rabmani, Kavasei, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha V'Stavra, I prefer Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha's approach, that Rosh Chodesh comes first. The Tadr, V'sheina Tadr Kaidem. Rosh Chodesh is Tadr. It's a more common occurrence, more common event, and that takes priority, takes precedence over Chanukah, which is a less common event. Omar Rabban, just the opposite. Kavasei Rav Dimi Mistar. I like Rav Dimi's approach. Chanukah comes first, and Rosh Chodesh is number 4. Migarim l'Ravi Sheyaveh. Why would you even read 4 portions, 4 aliyahs on this day? Only because of Rosh Chodesh. Chanukah would not require more than 3. The reason why you have 4 is due to Rosh Chodesh. Okay, so it makes sense that number 4 is designated for Rosh Chodesh. That's why the 4th fellow should be reading about Rosh Chodesh. Might have a lowest conclusion on this question. We sort of disregard Rosh Chodesh, meaning Chanukah comes first, and then comes Rosh Chodesh. Rabbi Amar, he disagrees. He says, Ein mashkichem b'Chanukah. We negate, so to speak. We disregard Chanukah, meaning Rosh Chodesh comes first, it's Tadr that comes first, and then comes Chanukah. The conclusion is, Ein mashkichem b'Chanukah, we disregard Chanukah, the Rosh Chodesh Ikar, we place Rosh Chodesh first. So first 3 aliyahs are Rosh Chodesh, number 4 is Chanukah, and in fact, that's what we do today. Okay, let's do a quick recap of today's daf. We learned about Mavatlan Tamatera, Loitzah Asameis, Achnas Kala. We learned that wherever Klal Yisrael went, Shechina went along with them. Where is the Shechina to be found in Bavel? Beis Knishta de Hutzel, Beis Knishta de Shav Yasser ben Arda, Beis Medrash of Baghdad. We learned about the Biglash Ma'at, which are the Batik Nesis, the Batim Midrashis, the Beis Rabbeinu Sheba Bavel. We learned that Asidim, the shuls and Batim Midrashis, will be relocated to Eretz Yisrael. Even a Beis HaKnesses that's out of commission, Shecharav, you can't disgrace it, you can't use it as a walkthrough unless there was a path, a pre-existing path before the Beis HaMedrash was built. Feeding the animal using the asavim with the Beis HaMedrash is asur. Then we proceeded with the Pashas. Pasha Shkolim comes first. What is Pasha Shkolim? According to Rav, it's Tavnei Yisrael, which discusses Karbonis. According to Shmuel, it's Kisisha, which discusses the Shkolim. And that's the halacha. We brought a raya from a brisa to Shmuel. We make that appeal for the Machzah Shekel starting from Rosh Chodesh Adar, and that's why we read Pasha Shkolim then, because it's 30 days before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which requires the new funding. Or according to Rav Shimon Gamliel, it's 2 weeks before the Shulchan is set up shop. But a machlokes regarding the Arba Parshas, Shkolim, Zachar, etc., do they take the place of the Ikar Parsha? Do we cancel the Parsha Shavuot, or do we just add it on as Maftir? We have twice a year where we use 3 Sifrei Torah. But one is Rosh Chodesh Adar that falls out on Shabbos. We have Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Parsha Shkolim. The second case is Rosh Chodesh Teves that falls on Shabbos. We have Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Chanukah. And the Gemara concludes Rosh Chodesh Teves on a weekday Chanukah. It's going to be 3 aliyahs for Rosh Chodesh, followed by a 4th one for Chanukah. All the best to you, and much, much hatzlacha.